Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're doing the unthinkable, we're doing the unstoppable. We're taking shooters into Pirate Rumble, yeah, you heard that. Shooters in Pirate Rumble. I know, it's a thing. It's a thing. It's not really a thing, they suck. If I'm completely honest, to start this video off, like, shooters need so much help that it's not even funny. However, lately there has been 3 big buffs for my account for the shooter-based team, and 2 really big buffs for most people through the Film Red celebration. We got Usopp and Yasop, we have Ben Beckman and Lucky Root, and for myself, I actually pulled the Fire Tank Pirates finally. So I did want to put together a shooter showcase, and actually showcase what the shooters can do now. Now, this team can be a little bit better, because this first fight you see here, I totally didn't even realize that I didn't have my Kuzen maxed. But with Kuzen's level limit break, he actually gets a Pirate Rumble buff, and same with Kizaru. Kizaru actually gets a Pirate Rumble buff as well. However, my Kizaru is still like 3 copies away from being maxed, so I unfortunately don't have level limit break 5, which means that he isn't getting the full Rumble abilities that he can normally get, but my Kuzen actually is. Now, Kuzen can do some crazy shenanigans like this, and like action bind the entire crew. He can give you insane like level 7 attack up if you actually hit with a crit as well, which is actually ridiculously strong. And then you can actually get half stats now with Yasop and Usopp. So the shooter team can do things, it just can't do lots of things. But we'll talk about that once we hit some more fights. That was against a weird kind of strength team. It seemed very easy on paper, and when I did this fight, I was pretty confident with the team. And then we started doing some other fights. Alright, I found this like fun sort of Straw Hat free spirity kind of build, so I thought I'd take that on. But let's have a chat about the shooter team. Now, shooters, obviously, as I mentioned, they still do need a lot of help. They don't have any Pirate Rumble like rare recruits that work nicely on the shooter team, except for the new Film Red Usopp. But then they just went and created Usopp and Yasop anyway, and he just basically like replaced the unit before the unit even had a chance to shine. I have no idea why they made that Film Red Usopp not a cerebral buffer for Pirate Rumble, but instead they made him shooter, and then we had this legend. But with Yasop and Usopp, they are providing with their Rumble ability level 6 attack up, level speed, level 6 speed up, and level 6 HP up. So they're quite good for the shooter team. Speed's great, attack's great, HP is very, very essential. And then with their special, they target 3 enemies for a 100% chance of special cooldown for 100%, and then a chance to halve stats by 100% as well. So, targets 3 enemies with a 100% special cooldown for a 100% chance to halve their stats. So the idea is you want him to pop off before all the other enemies pop their specials, so that way you can actually halve the stats and just drastically reduce the damage that they're taking. They're then going to target 3 Driven class enemies for a 100% chance to special blind, and 3 enemies for 2500 damage. So if you are versing enemies, you do want to try and take on Driven teams with this unit, just to sort of help you nerf them a little bit. Next, we've got Ben Beckman and Lucky Root, and they obviously are the first shooter superclass unit, so they're going to be very good for the shooter team too. They give level attack up level 8 for shooters, and defense up level 5, which is awesome. And their Rumble special just does like a whole bunch of damage, but also gives crit up level 6. Now, the reason that I actually put Kuzen on this team is because of that level 6 crit up. If you then hit a crit with Kuzen, he gives level 7 attack up, which is really, really powerful. The Ben Beckman Lucky Root unit can do like a lot of damage, but it's all about who you actually hit. If Ben Beckman and Lucky Root sort of target one enemy and kind of go bink, 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 you are going to get a lot of damage out. And because it's 6 times, like if you hit like, say for example, you come down to like the final sort of 3 enemies, and then all of a sudden 5 of those shots hit one guy that you really need to take out, otherwise you like will catch the fight. Ben Beckman Lucky Root can be quite good. However, it is only 0.7 of their attack, which is it is quite low. Then you give speed up and stuff like that, so your shooters are attacking very, very fast. The whole idea of my team that I put together here is to try and get a lot of sort of CT up, a lot of speed up, a lot of attack, so that way you can sort of start like doing a lot of damage to the enemy. Now, I did find a Driven team to try and showcase like Usopp and Yasop a little bit, and how they can kind of nerf the Driven comp. But with Kuzen at his max level limit break, and his Rumble ability being max, he gives level 5 HP up, level 5 speed up, and then obviously when you strike with a critical up to 2 times, he can give level 7 attack up to shooter class teammates, which is really, really good. Once you then start getting all of that attack up, you can get a lot of damage output with stuff like Kizaru, stuff like Kuzen himself, and then obviously when Ben Beckman and Lucky Root can ping that special, they're going to do a lot more damage. However, with Ben Beckman and Lucky Root, they are the ones that give the crit up, so it is a little bit counterintuitive there. You can use stuff like V2 Kuzen as well with his level limit break. He's quite good if you're doing like a quick side build. However, with Yasop and Usopp being a dual unit, and then obviously the Fire Tanks being a dual unit too, it is a bit of a hindrance because then You're not getting any buff for those 2 units there, so it's kind of annoying. With Kuzan's special, though, he's a 2500 fixed damage dealer and 85% chance to action bind for 5 seconds on the enemy, and then for shooter class teammates in a medium range, level 5 attack up, level 5 speed up. So he's giving quite a lot of attack, mainly to Ben Beckman and Lucky Roo. That's the big sort of like gimmick there that I really wanted Kuzan to do. So then that way, once Ben Beckman and Lucky Roo can actually do this, it does do a lot more damage. But obviously the Driven team is very defensive centric. So that can be a little bit of an issue. Once Kizaru goes as well, Kizaru is giving a lot of attack up. He's giving a lot of special cooldown as well. And the idea is to sort of just bink out a whole bunch of specials consistently. Action Bind to sort of stall out the enemy as well. But if the enemy is immune to stuff like Action Bind and all that sort of those shenanigans, it can be a little bit of an issue. As for Kizaru, Kizaru is our cooldown reducer. He gives a lot of cooldowns at the start of the fight. Level 4 special cooldown to slashers and shooters. A lot of speed for the first 40 seconds as well. And then with his special, he does 1 times his attack and boosts teammates' attack up by level 8, which can be very, very good. With his 15-second cooldown, you see that quite a lot, and it provides a lot of damage for your team. Alright, so the final fight of the video is against a Cerebral-based team, and I actually maxed out my Kuzan now, so Kuzan is maxed for this particular fight, and my Ben Beckman Lucky Roo, their special wasn't maxed either, so the first couple of fights that you did see weren't actually against my max potential shooter team, but this particular team was. Now, as you guys have been seeing through this entire video, we're not versing anything too crazy. We're versing a bunch of class teams because that's pretty much what the shooter team can come up against. If you're utilizing this team, don't take on stuff like the Dex team. Don't take on stuff like the Psy team. It can put up a fight against the Int team. I almost beat it, but the time ran out, basically. So just be mindful of that, because Int have a lot of driven characters, so I did really want to try and showcase that. However, I literally just ran out of time, which was very, very annoying, but it is what it is. So even like strength-based teams, like quick-based teams really as well, you've got to be very careful with. I did try the quick team because there's a lot of driven characters there. I might try it again because I didn't have everyone maxed, so it might work, but I would only use this team as a bit of a fun team. Finally, I do have the Fire Tank Pirates on this particular team. Their Rumble ability, giving HP up, defense up, attack up, and self-defense up to themselves. They give away blow away % up as well, which is awesome. They're basically tanking all the damage for us, and they're the ones that are giving us all the defense. The downside to this team, obviously, that level 5 defense is pretty much all we have. So if you are versing stuff like the quick team and that like whatnot, and they start going like first, they can sort of do a lot of damage to you. But this particular team that you see us using is based all about attack. It's all about speed. And really, that's, I guess, what shooters are, right? They're not really built around that defensive capabilities. That's where Ben Beckman shines right there. When you give him all that attack and they start doing like 2,300 on like all of those attacks, it can work very, very nicely. But that's going to wrap up the shooter showcase. I did want to put together a little bit of a video for this. If shooters start getting some like better Pirate Rumble units, they can kind of slide in on the team. Obviously, we're using Smoker on the bench because Smoker's like the best Pirate Rumble unit in the game. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on the shooter team in the comment section below. While you're down there, don't forget to belt the like button if you're new to the channel. Hit the big red subscribe button too. But most importantly, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later!